Hello, my dears. Fortunately for you, no video this time. Well, at least not one with my face in it. I still hope that you're doing well. Now, what I'm going to talk to you today is a little bit about this research essay requirements page. Now, it is the same for both my honors and standard, right? What is different would be the expectations of the contents of the essay, which I will go over with you at a later point in time. However, the basis for forming your ideas and for creating your thesis and topic sentences is still the same for both classes. So I just want to take a few minutes and discuss with you exactly what this page contains and why I've included the information I have. Now, your research-based essay, will require some sources from information outside of the textbook. Okay, you are required to have a minimum of 3 sources of information that connect to the novel to how Bradbury's themes are actively relevant, meaning they're still current. They're not something of the past. They're still something that we deal with today to the 21st century. Now, if you have followed my instructions about selecting a theme as well as writing that brief summary and finding the evidence, then the hardest part of this legwork is done. You are now in line, I can't speak today, y'all. This is weird talking to a screen. You're going to have to forgive me. Where was I? You are good to begin looking for sources after you've brainstormed. So you are going to align one source of information per body paragraph minimum. If you choose to use more than one source of information in a body paragraph, that's up to you. More or less, I'm expecting that might be the case with a few of my honor students, but just know that you do have a minimum requirement of 3 separate kinds of sources of information. Okay, there is a YouTube video where I tell you about using Google Scholar and NCYSL. NCYSL is going to ask for a password that is highlighted in yellow right here. Please don't email me going, Ms. Breslin, where's the password? It's right here. It's literally right here. Okay. EBSCO will provide you with as many credible sources which you access through NCYSL. Okay. It gives you the ability to take notes as you read, save the article to your Google Drive so you can print it off, you can highlight it, you can do whatever you need to that source, as well as create your MLA 8 citation so you don't have to do that yourself. Okay. Here's that YouTube link I just told you about. Surprise, it's me. I learned how to use YouTube just for you. And then here's that structure strip that we used from previous essays. If this was helpful to you, please use it again. It's a tool for your disposal. I created it just for you if you need it. All right, here is the YouTube video for how to brainstorm connections within your research, which simply tells you how I connected all of these things. All right, and I've also taken a photograph of the whiteboard where I did the video, so you can zoom in and see the lettering because, I'm just going to be real with you. The camera on this Chromebook is not the nicest, so I can't change the quality of the camera, and I'm too poor to buy a nice one to record in my classroom with, so. You just work with what you got, but it is there for you. The one thing I want to point out is that remember that writing is fluid. It's supposed to fluctuate. It's supposed to change. Okay. So don't let that overwhelm you. If you have something that initially doesn't work, that's fine. You can email me. We can figure it out. I am willing to work with you to make sure that you don't just completely give up because don't do that. Just don't do that. I'm here for you, okay? If you are very much a visual learner and this little bit is just not doing it for you, there is a brainstorming chart example using the novel Anthem, which is the novel that my honors students who are reading independently. What I had my students do last semester was they generated their own discussion question prompt based on their discussions or their thoughts on the novel. However, I have given you a prompt. So the highlighting structure of this is going to be a little bit different, but this example exists here for you, as well as how I got to where I was and a little bit more of that repeated, how did I make the connections between the two? So that is there for you as well, but please be aware the prompt is very different, but the thing about research essays is that the structure of them is the same. So the way I have connected these ideas here, nothing has changed about how I got to my end goal. The only thing that's different is the product itself. All right. My other main point, I want to talk to you about body paragraphs because usually we're used to a standard 5 paragraph essay, and that's all good and dandy. But you must indent a new paragraph when you change the subject. So, in essence, you are going to be writing 2 paragraphs for the price of one. So, you're going to have a total of 8 body paragraphs in this research essay because you are going to double up for an extra paragraph in each body paragraph. All right. Don't let that overwhelm you. All you're doing is repeating your cult statement. Okay. But one is for evidence from the book, which is what I've chosen to start with first. And another is using that evidence from that source that you found through that credible source. Okay. Now, for my honors students, I expect to have a more well thought out linking idea, preferably more than a sentence long. I will be looking at that as well as the quality of how well you were able to tie everything in together. Okay. You see how this takes up almost the whole page? So when I say that your research essay is going to be somewhere between 3 to 5 pages, I'm not just telling you that to be cute. If you look, each one of these is really only between 6 and 7 or 8 sentences long. And you do that twice and you've got a whole page. So don't freak out about it. Let it happen naturally. Don't think about, oh, I have to fill up 3 whole pages. It's going to write itself, especially once you go back in and write your introduction and your conclusion. That's going to give you that extra little boost of length that you need. So don't worry about that. I just wanted you to know that you at some point are going to have this little separation here. This break is because I'm going from talking about evidence from the book to evidence that I found that relates to the 21st century. They're 2 separate things, therefore we separate them. All right, and this is also linked for you on this page. All right, now I know it's difficult to attempt to teach this without being face to face. It's weird for me too. Even if it's not perfect, I want you to please try your best. Know that you have my full support and that I believe very much in everything that you're capable of doing. Please try your best. I'll work with you when I get to see your faces again. You may email me if you need me, okay? So if you would like to set up a Google Meet to FaceTime with me, all right, if you have any questions, because again, this is difficult without being face to face, please email me to set up a time. However, I need some form of evidence of approval from your parents. This kind of communication potentially blurs the privacy laws that teachers and related staff adhere to, such as I could be hosting an event with the class, and let's say you have a sibling who decides to run through your house half naked. I don't know, or anything of that nature that's going to expose all of that to your whole class. And I'm just not quite sure I'm willing to risk, not only embarrassing potentially you, but that just exposes a lot about your personal life to the world that we don't really need to know about. So, in this case, in order for me to communicate with you in this way, if you need some FaceTime, I require your parents' permission, either through email from a parent guardian or a photo of a note giving you consent, signed with their own signature. Okay. Or even if they're interested in calling me, have them email me and I can give them my number. We can set up a time, or they can vocally give me their approval. As long as I have permission from your parent, then we're cool. You can FaceTime me. We'll do it one-on-one. We don't have to do it with the class. Okay. Now, this is the end of the video. If you have any questions regarding your essay requirements, please email me at your convenience. Thank you.